Hey guys, and good evening. Welcome to another tournament stream. Today I will be streaming Veil for the EU server. So let's take this stuff away and you will see this. But I will first take you over this. This is the current top 8 for the EU server. And as you can see, there's like a clear top 3. But after that, the numbers are pretty close together. But not just that. If you look at the... there you go. The 9, 10 and 11, they are also pretty close by, so that makes the controversy that happened today all the bigger. Because the thing that we are dealing with is that, we're waiting for the page to load, here we go, that FBI, who is currently number 6, did not place for today's tournament because they didn't earn a ticket on Thursday. So what did they do? They decided to basically invite members from a friendly sister clan, as they call it, into their clan so that they can use their tickets. And that, in my opinion, is not okay. And yes, technically it is not against the rules. The thing is, it is not against the rules because Wargaming didn't write any rules out for the Ascent tournaments. And the positive of this story is that Wargaming will be doing that in the future to avoid stuff like this happening. Because even they agree that this is a very questionable action. And yeah, so technically FBI can do this and they can and will get away with it. But basically they've lost a lot of respect from a lot of people. So that's just sad. So with that out of the way, let's focus on what is going to happen here. We are going to New Bay in about 4 minutes time. And we are up against mates. So we'll have to see what happens. I will be keeping close tabs on what is happening throughout the whole bracket tonight. And I won't be able to show you all of that because most of it happens in the Blitz Assistant app. And that is something that I cannot show you on the stream. Now I can potentially show you the bracket, but at the moment I'm not daring to because my laptop is being a bit iffy today. So I'm not gonna basically make it very difficult. But we'll see. Basically, we were having such a nice, pretty much drama-free season until Wednesday when just everything exploded. First with Brian leaving and the whole aftermath of that, which is still pretty much going. And again, I like the whole silent protest with the nickname, with the hashtags and the PFPs and everything. But I'm also glad that it's sort of not the protest hasn't died down, but more like the kind of actions has died down, so it's more peaceful now, and that part I really like. Mo just asked what I'm doing in the tournament room. Yeah, there's a 5-minute delay on the stream. That means that anything you say that I respond to, you will hear the reaction to 5 minutes later. So I do tend to avoid that a little bit, but questions and everything I will, of course, reply to. Yeah, there is another stream happening even though Brian quit the whole commentating scene, and that is on Ninja's channel. He is streaming in Polish though, so it will be pretty much impossible to understand him unless you speak Polish. And I believe, but I'm not entirely certain, that Rip from Raid is also streaming. I heard about that quite late, and I expect that he will be following Raid. So less than 2 minutes left to go now, and basically both teams are completely there, even though not everyone from Veil is in their team yet, because otherwise you wouldn't see me, because I'm always listed at the bottom as spectator. And then we will see what is going to happen. Dun 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 dun. But yeah, overall it's been a very weird week, and I'm kind of just hoping that things will calm down again and that stuff like this doesn't happen in the future. Like, not with the, well, stuff with, like with Brian should never happen to begin with, but I just hope that Wargaming sort of like solidifies the rules properly and makes rules for tournament seasons like this. And there we go. Both teams are complete, not completely ready, but they have still a minute to do that. And we see that Vil is taking 5 113s and 2 E5s. So that's going to be interesting to see what they do. They will have to DPM. But it will kind of be curious to see what they will do against all those IS-4s from mates. Let's see. Misco still needs to ready up. They have just over half a minute left to go before we go into this first match on New Bay, which is a map that we've seen quite often this tournament season. And basically we just need to wait and see. At the same time, Win is going to go versus FBI, so there is a lot riding on that. But with making this move, FBI is already getting like 2k cups just for being there. And that is just, yeah. But let's focus on the match. The countdown clock has begun. We are going in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Let's see. So many 113s. And only one with the camouflage. But that's the same on the other side. To be fair, I do notice that most tournament clans do not use the legendary camouflages while in the tournament. Aww. And praise be to the donut that we see on this side. And let's go up in the way, see what Vil is going to do with this lineup. They are splitting up. And we see mates completely together, heading towards base C. Moving the camera around this map is a little bit tricky because of all the buildings you can get stuck on. Elysium going straight forward to spot Wunderkind, not trying to cap either. And basically we could be seeing some pincer movements here. But they will have to be careful because right now they are outnumbered because the other guys are still moving. First shots have been fired, but no doubt. Oh, now we see the first damage happening. And you see immediately that SCR is turning around, either trying to get a different perspective. But now the mouse is being rushed by 3. Elysium is not looking all too healthy, but Vil is going into it. They are going for the juicy targets. They're not completely focus firing though. There goes Ramio. He's the first one gone. Big hit into SCA there. Mate is pulling together, but the focus fire so far has already cost him a gun. Gassio not looking too healthy, but they've already taken out 2 guns, and now only Elysium is gone. Gassio is quick to follow though, but HP wise there's about 1k advantage to Vil, and a gun advantage, which is so important. 2 guns now. And even if you have the HP advantage, you're gonna quickly lose it if you have a lot more guns shooting at you. And now they are basically shooting the IS-4, and Mo is basically blocking Misco, not wanting him to join in. There's only 2 guns left at this point. Danny is gone. Only Rabo, who is being shot in the rear, whereas Mo and Weiser are occupying Misco. I can't... There you go, now we see both of them. And even though Wunderkind, no, he even survives, and Misco is the last one left, and there he goes, and the first match is for Vil. Very aggressive gameplay, but epic pincer movement, lovely to see. So that was a very quick game, I believe. Let's see. There you go, just over 2 minutes, that was very quick. But look at the difference in HP and the damage done. And for a little moment it seemed to be going up in the same numbers, but the focus fire that Vil showed here is exactly what makes them so deadly, because even if you're allowing yourself to get shot, that is fine if you're shooting the same target, because that means that you're taking out the guns, and the guns advantage means you do more damage. So just over a minute before we go into the same map again, and we see the same lineup happening in Vil, but I wonder if they're going to do the same thing, because they generally not want to be predictable. And Mate is taking a lot of IS-4s, but now also some 113s. They've left the mouse and the object 140 behind. So we're seeing 5 IS-4s and 2 113s. So basically a sort of mirror tactic, but with different tanks. And it will be interesting to see what they do with that. So let's see, 40 seconds left to go. Both teams are ready. before we go into the second match on Nube. There you go. Half a minute left to go. This is interesting gameplay though. At the same time, I dislike the games being so fast, but that's mainly because the longer the games are, the less dead time I have between matchups. But with stuff like this, it can, it's just, the gameplay itself is beautiful. And now we see that there are 3 113s and 4 Ice 4s on mate sides. So let's see what's going to happen with that. Dun 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 dun. And here we go. I do love this camo. There's only very few people that have it, but you see that Zerd and Mo are both sporting it, and it is so pretty. So let's see if they're gonna do the same thing or if they're sticking together. We see that Wise is heading off on his own. And he is literally going off on his own. No, Elysium and Mo are going into the same direction. Mates again, sticking together. But I think now they're trying to basically do what Vil did. And both teams have split up a little bit. And this could be interesting. Because now we have Ramio over there, who is ready. Wise could potentially go into a trap. Let's see if I can get you a better angle. He has been spotted. And he crosses over without getting shot. And that is very important in this case, because now they know that Mates has split up. And we see Vil moving in together, getting shot from both sides. This is a dangerous situation for Vil, because now they're getting crossfired. And it will all depend on how quickly the other half of Vil can get those 113s out of the way. There is the first gun gone, but Wonderkind is not looking too healthy. Yuri is protecting him, but he's not going to be able to survive much longer. He will be gone. There we go. Both teams have lost the gun. HP wise, it's just now all about the focus fire. The 113s are basically picked off first, and that is in this case a very good call. But Yuri not looking all too healthy either. Zerd is the second one gone. HP wise, Vil has more is looking healthier, but they lack the guns. And they're bouncing on the bumps of Ice 4s, and that could be very dangerous here. Wiser not being able to take that shot because Mo was actually moving in the way, potentially letting Danny do some more damage. They are trying to do this, but this will be very difficult for them. It is 4 versus 3. And now it seems the table's turn, but Shapey is not looking all too healthy. They will need to take out these tanks. Elysium is helping Shapey. But it would be more important in this case to take out Misko, and that is basically the thing here. He is almost gone. Elysium is protecting Mo, keeping him from getting shot in the flank. But he is getting shot for it. There he goes. It is 3 versus 2. HP wise, Elysium doing a fantastic job here. Blocking them from getting to his teammates, not allowing them to get shot in the side. And now they're basically splitting up, which in this case is not going to make it right, because now we have 3 versus 1 and it's actually Vil's game. They were in such a bad position, basically getting shot from both sides. But Wiser and his 2 mates pushing in, I think there was these 3 to be exact, pushing in from behind to pinch them, taking out those guns so fast. Beautiful. And mates, they could have had it, but they sort of stayed and they only pushed in once they were getting shot from the side. If they had pushed into that part of Vil much sooner, it might have been different. But that was beautiful. Again, relatively quick game, but about a minute longer. And that means that the first matchup is for Vil. And I want to point this out. More pro clans do this, but this, I'm just referring to the matches that we've just seen. I love the fact that there's the focus fire, and it doesn't always go right, because at some point you see that half the team is shooting one target and half the team is shooting another. They're sort of like effective firing at that point, because they are confident that the people shooting one target will be able to take it out, whereas the people shooting the other target will also be able to take it out. But the way that they're also defending their own clanmates, like pushing in between. You saw Yori do that, making sure that Wunderkind survived a little bit longer. And you saw Elysium do that, keeping them from shooting the teammates that were easier targets for them. I love that. Really nicely done. So let's see, do we know yet how the rest is doing? What is EG up to? Oh, they don't have a first match. There's a bunch of people that don't have first match. Let me actually look in the app, because that is likely going to work better. Win took out FBI. I would like to announce that. Whereas Whip took out K4. So both the clans that have done a questionable move today have been knocked out. And even though, yeah, it's technically not against the rules, I do feel I have to repeat that. But it doesn't make it morally right. So, Win is through, which is all the more important, because the more cups that they can get, the better chance they have of making it into the top 8 for the professionals. And like I commented last time we saw Win, which was last Thursday actually, Win is one of those clans, they can pull magic out of their ass. I'm not sure how they do it, but it's like they can have some bad days and then they do something utterly amazing. And that makes them a very fun clan to watch. So, yeah. That being that, let's actually go and show you some replays in the meantime. Actually, let me just quickly check. I think next match is in 22 minutes, but I'm always wanting to just make... Where did I put Vil? I always just want to make sure... There we go. Ooh, against Kraken S. Yes, in about 21 minutes. So that means I can show you a few replays. I'm going to start off with none other than... Here we go. And then Wunderkind, if it actually loads the replay, because that is generally helpful, but here we go. He platoons with Indigo a lot, and those two are like... I'm not sure what the English version is, but you have like the Dutch saying 2 hands on 1 belly, which basically means that you are really good together and working very well together. That is basically what happens with Wunderkind and Indigo. So let's see what's going to happen here. I do actually really dislike this camo. I'm not a big fan of the color orange, which is kind of weird because I'm from the Netherlands and orange is basically our nation's color, but overall I don't like it as a color. And I'm all for colorful camouflages and everything. It's just, I don't like this. I don't like the blue one, to be fair, all that much either. And that being said, to focus on something a bit more interesting than my own personal color choice, the Canaan one is currently in the store and it is pretty cheap. And that is one reason I was happy to be able to show you this replay, because even though the tank is not OP, it is very lovely. And overall, again, it's not very strong, but it does have a lovely armor profile and everything. And just the way that it functions, he does take a hit there and he doesn't pan because he actually zooms out. But now they're bullying the guy together. And he does take a hit there instead of actually fixing it. But now the FV is reloading. But the K91 has a pretty good clip reload, which should allow him to basically at least heavily damage the FV before the FV reloads. And will it be in time? And we saw a missile fly by there but do no damage, but there goes the FV. And now he's reloading again, but so is the Sherry. And now they're splitting up, Indigo going after the Sherry. And I think they want to take him out. This is like, why would you shoot HE at the front of a tank? That is like, it's let's say questionable behavior. Nice little tracking shot. And this is what I mean with 2 hands on the belly. Look at the way that they are working together, taking out targets together. Their team is not doing too good. And the Sheridan is basically behind there, and he's gone. Base A not being capped. We have a Yege over there that is just standing there. This is, I don't get why you would zoom out at this point, because your aim is generally more true if you don't. But there you go, 2 shots in, 1 shot bounced. And he is staying where he is. He does have to be careful because people can blind shot and everything. But seeing as he's now reloading anyway, I'm not sure he's gonna cap. No, yes he is. Let's see. T57 Heavy coming up. He has a full clip ready, but at this stage it helps to get the, not necessarily point advantage back, but to get at least a bit of a base advantage so that they're not losing too many points too quickly. And they kind of have to work together very properly now because it's now 2 versus 4. This is generally what I love. I love the Toon games. He is not paying attention at all to Wonderkind, which is a very dangerous thing to do. Because now, even with the tank behind there, he is taken out. And Wonderkind does not lose HP for it. And they kind of have to work together at this point, but the E75 can't possibly angle towards both of them, and that is the beauty of having a Toon like this, where you can work together like this. AMX taken out by Wonderkind. That is lovely map awareness as well, knowing that there's someone there. And there we go, and he immediately starts reloading the clip. The only one left now is the Jaeger. They have about 3.5 minutes left to do that. So let's see. He is pushing up from base speed, but that only makes him that is a very bad position for a big TD to be in, to be fair. Because regardless of which way he turns now, he's now looking at Wonderkind. Sorry, at Indigo, but that means that Wonderkind can just really get behind him. And just basically block him and shoot him in the side and everything. And now he can't really do anything. And Indigo is just standing there. And he might get shot for it, but in this case, I think Indigo is being really nice by potentially giving Wonderkind the kill because he already has 4 kills. And there you go. 5.8k damage in a tier 9 tank is ridiculously much. And like I said, this is what makes this stamp lovely. You saw exactly how you could play. It is a low profile. It is a bit of a cheeky profile. And that really works for it. So if you're wondering whether or not the tank is worth it, in my opinion, yes. Don't expect to have games like this because this is still Wonderkind and he's OPSF. But especially with Indigo as teammate. But it is a lovely tank. Nearly, well, 445 supremacy points will also help with an ace, but in this case the damage and the kills alone should have done it. 1747 base XP. So that is the first game I'm showing you. And in the meantime, I did get a message from one of the WIP players about what happened. So there we go. Let's find you another replay to actually look at because I have a whole bunch of them. I just don't know which one I want to show you most. I'm going to go with a tank that I'm not that actually appreciative of. And I kind of need to grow into it because it is a really good tank. And here we go. The 263 is one of those... Ooh, Martin is in the team. The 263 is one of those weird tanks. It is very troll in pretty much everything. And I'm not exactly a fan of it, but at the same time, I'm not a fan of meeting it either. Because it is a good tank, and especially played in the right way, it can perform pretty much wonders. 2 peas in a pod. That is not exactly how you write it, Mud, but you mean 2 peas in a pod. And that is indeed the English term for 2 hands on the belly. So let's see what's going to happen in this. I want 2 pies in the pot, to be fair. I'm hungry. With all this streaming and knowing that I need to stay up very late, I do try to not have dinner early and just wait for it. Now he's in a pretty good position because he's in a sort of hold down. He just needs to be careful not to angle too much for one or the other, because this is what I mean. He is getting rushed, but he has friends. And this guy does not know how to play a medium. If you are going to stand in front of a TD, that is not how you play a med. There you go. And now we have the second one lining up. He does do some damage, but he takes some in turn. And now we have a lovely corpse basically stuck. And again, he has friends. This is generally a lovely game with very potato enemy meds. Because this is how you want to do it if you are in a TD. I like plays where TDs are... nice little bounce. And that's the end of the E50M. So far he's gotten some bounce damage, he's gotten some assisted damage, he's gotten damage himself. We know that there's a 268 there, you also saw the tree just fall. That is something that you always have to be careful about, by the way. If you are in a tough position, do not drive through covers, because it basically means that you are giving away your position. Because if people pay attention to the map, and they really should, they will see that tree fall down and they will know that you are there. 268 wanting to run off but running straight into the enemy. And we have... now he's going after the Spaghetti. Spaghetti, one of my favorite tanks in the whole game. I just love this. He's not being careful at all. He's not YOLO, but he's just not careful. And I like that because this TD is so troll. It can handle so much. And I like that he's using that to basically help his team win. Now we have the E100 moving, and he's only pausing now so that he can shoot him. And that's a nice bounce. It is such a cheeky tank, and that is one of the reasons why I feel I should be grinding it. But I really hate grinding, and I'm very lazy in that aspect. And he is wiggling at the same time. He is making sure that he shoots every single shot that he can take. And again he bounces. And he kills him off, and now there's only 2 enemies left. They are not looking too healthy at this stage. There you go, nice high roll. 5.2k damage. Because it was kind of certain that he wouldn't get that last kill, but that is a very, very troll game. Very aggressively played. Working beautifully. It did help that those mats had no clue how to deal with the TD. But overall, that was just lovely. So, 5.4k damage. Martin some nice support as well. I kind of need to do this. Yeah. You, however, should have done better. You did play much better than the T628, but still. There's a... I generally don't look at stats as in, why did my team lose? I look at stats to see if what I saw matches with the stats. Because, like for instance, if I'm looking at this guy, 58%, well nearly 59%, nearly 30k games, you can expect a certain kind of gameplay from him. And when you look at this guy, and you have 43%, nearly 44% after 4k games, there's also a certain kind of gameplay that you can expect from him. And that is why I look at stats, because if someone is absolutely clueless, I can't hold it against them. And this guy basically shows that he is just that. So, yeah, that is what I mean. I do look at stats, but not in the way of bad-mouthing them, but more for understanding them. So, in 13 minutes, in 9 minutes, the battle will begin. This means that in 4 minutes, the room shall be up. That means that I can't show you another replay, but we can look quickly at the bracket. At least I can, because I can't show you because it's in the app. But we have Legion versus Win, Kraken versus Phil, EG versus Immor, Raid versus BHPP, Loka versus Alum, Immor versus Zenith, Lux Noven versus Phoenix, and Appa versus Whip. So that's going to be pretty much all these matches would be interesting to watch, to be fair. And I like that kind of stuff. So let's see. Basically, it's the most important tonight for all the teams to reach top 8. Because then you're much more solidified in your position in the top 8. And have a lot better chance of making it to the professionals next week. Because that all starts next week. And... let's actually... no, not the one. This is so stupid. I always press the wrong buttons depending on where I want to go. This is what I was going for. Because this is what we are going to get, not next week, but in a little bit, start May 2nd. Basically, next week is still happening, then you have basically a week of doing nothing. And then we get a lot of battles again. I will be streaming most of it, EU, definitely all of it. And yeah, well, NA during the weekends and Asia during the weekends. So we'll see what is going to happen. Basically, this is what people are getting. Money, this is for the whole team, mind, it's not for one player. But still, overall, it's quite nice to at least get something for it. And challenges, of course, as well. And this camouflage. This is a camouflage that I have on my main account. Unlocked for every tank. That was a gift from Wargaming a few years ago. And it's very orange. But yeah, it is nice to have a camo to use on all tanks that you have. So that you don't have to spend credits on it. In the meantime, I am getting PMs on Discord. Know that I will definitely read them, but I can't promise to respond well on stream. But yeah. Now we just wait for the room invite. That should be up in about 2 minutes. There's not much else to talk about. We've already covered the drama. We've more than covered the drama, really. And no, the Dutch duck. I am not one from Wargaming. I do have a press account. That's because I'm a community contributor. I do not work for Wargaming. I do this because I love showing tournament. Basically commentating competitive gameplay and everything. And Wargaming gives me the opportunity to do it. But it's all basically for nothing. That sounds really bad. I don't mean it like that, but it's all voluntary work. So let's see. This is basically in the store. Basically, I'm just looking for something to talk about while we wait for a room invite. That should be up in about a minute. I will probably get this bundle mainly because I'm such a lazy grinder and I hate grinding. So this will basically spare me a lot of time. So I will probably do that. If you want to buy crates, know that the drop percentage of this is 4%, and not only that, you have a chance to win a whole bunch of tanks. And that sounds positive. I don't mean it as such, because you still need to get into the 4% to get one, and then you will probably not get the one that you want. So be very careful with that stuff. This VK43 is kind of nice. I'm not a fan of the other one. I do have one of them at least. I have these 168.01. I got it from those crates that you, if you had a tank, you got it, or if you got a tank that you already had, you got a crate for the next year. And that is how I end up with this thing. This, however, is a much nicer bundle. I'm not necessarily a big fan of the Lorraine, but I am a huge fan of this tank. If you like auto reloaders, you will absolutely love it, because it's like a tier 8 spaghetti, and the spaghetti is of course the Progetto 65. So let's see, there we go, tournament room. And I'm on the other side. But yeah, we'll see what is going to happen tonight. We are moving on to Faust. Faust is my definite favorite map of the whole game. I love how it's completely unpredictable usually. There's bridges, there's basically tunnels. Well, it's not literally bridges, but you know what I mean. Just the differences in levels where you can basically pass by each other. Not necessarily on Steam, because you do get proxy spotted. But still, there's 4 bases, which makes it interesting instead of 3 bases. And just a lot of good positions and a lot of good crossfire positions as well. And I absolutely love this match, this map. So I'm looking forward to that. First we need Krakeness to arrive, because that generally helps. But there's still like 3.5 minutes for that, so they have plenty of time. And now we just basically wait. In the meantime, Kiwi just said, "Let's go Legion" in the chat. They are up against Win, and even though, yes, I am for Legion as well, in this case I kind of hope that Win wins, because the more cops that they get tonight, the bigger their chances of getting into the top 8. So fingers crossed for that. Krakeness slowly but surely arriving. Bogi just said, let's go rain. That will be for much later tonight in about 6.5 hours. But yeah, that will also definitely be worth it. I will be streaming Pincer Insurgents for the NA server tonight, and that was a lot of fun last week. So I'm hoping that it will be the same for this week. But yeah, overall, I absolutely love streaming competitive gameplay, because I'm always when I'm playing pub battles, I often wonder what will happen if like the team was like properly coordinating together, and this is basically exactly that. It is a team of 7 players coordinating together and basically wrecking teams together, using team tactics. That's why I generally don't call out where I think the teams will go with the lineups that they have, unless it's like Middleburg and you have like 5 mice. But overall, and even then, to be fair, you can't really call what a team is going to do, because they can go everywhere with because they're a team. Even though some positions are stronger for certain tanks, it does not mean that they have to go there if you have a whole team behind you. You don't need to think about just you only have to think about your whole team. And that is just beautiful. At the same time, all of these players are on voice together, talking together, and like generally pretty concise communication together, like I got spotted, or I got shot from north corner, or stuff like that. They point things out to each other, and even though there's probably a lot of shit talk as well, but overall the communication is kept to who they need to shoot. And I think that's also a reason why people are not using the legendary camouflages all that much, because it makes tanks look the same, and it makes it harder for them to identify the enemy. At the same time, if you're all wearing the same camo and you're using the similar tanks, like with the 5 113s, it would be very hard for the enemy to call out which target to kill. So you kind of also have to trust in each other's skills and in each other's capability to decide on a target, and that the target that they decide is basically when you called out. So now we have Phil that has readied up in 2 IS-4s, a T-22 medium, a 215B, an STB, and 2 113s. And they're going to go up against 2 IS-4s, a Sherry, an E100, an STB, an E4, and an E5. E4 is an interesting choice. It is a good tank. It's not necessarily one of the stronger TDs. It does have a turret, even though it doesn't turn the whole way. And what I find it can work. At the same time, it is a bit of a weaker E5, even though it has a bigger gun. So we'll have to see what they do with it. We are going into the battle like right now. So let's see what's going to happen. Like I said, definitely my most favorite map this. It is beautiful. Someone just got a word on the ad before the stream started. That is like the best way ever. So let's see what is going to happen. We have Phil focusing on the base C side. Sorry, base D side, not going for base A at all. Though we have 2 IS-4s heading more towards the middle. Base C is being kept. Wunderkind has been spotted going over. And it seems that we might be seeing a collective push again. Wunderkind losing HP here. And we see Gassio losing HP as well. E100 is pushing over. Elysium is going in. E100 is getting shot. Overall, Shapey is not in. Oh, ow, ow, Shapey. This is not exactly going as Vil wanted it to go, I can imagine. Zerd now losing also a little bit of HP. There's a lot of fire going on everywhere. I can't possibly show you everything because of all those different levels. And let's see. Basically, adamantly running off. Wunderkind not looking too healthy. But they will kind of have to work together in order to get guns out of the way. There's a lot of low HP targets. Wunderkind is the first one to go. Elysium bouncing a shot there. Deep Ice is gone. Shapey is still alive. E100 getting a shot. There goes Elysium. Naxos still alive. And they've already lost 2 guns, and that could be very tricky. Now Gassio potentially in trouble. Shapey not looking too good. He is doing damage. Mo has to be careful. He takes out the E100, but he becomes a one-shot because of it. And... ooh, that bounce though. Guns-wise, the advantage is, well, it is still in Ville's side. They will need to be careful. They will need to work together. Zerd is moving in. We have the Sheridan moving in as well. Useless still alive. Mo and Obsidian both gone. And there we go. Useless has been taken out. And now we only have Adamantly left. And he has very little HP. He's not going to be able to one-shot them. Especially not if that missile misses. And Zerd is casually pushing over. Basically only need to breathe on him to kill him. But it is Wiser that takes him out. And this is one of those games that I was like, oh my god, this is not going to work well. But Ville took it home. Again, a concentrated push. That's the 3rd one we saw today. That actually worked out really well for them. So very nicely done. And in less than 2 minutes we get to go in again. Yeah, I agree. I'm thinking about pies too. Forget. I'm really hungry now. But we'll see. I need to wait until the end of the stream to be able to eat, and I still hope that we get several matchups after this. Like 3 of them. But it will be tricky because after this, if Ville takes this home, they will still have to go up against either Win or Legion. So that's going to be tricky altogether. So it's just over a minute left to go. Oh my god, sweet potato pies. Guys, stop doing that. Just under a minute now, we have Ville that is ready with 2 STBs, the T22 medium, 3 113s and a IS-4, and they're going to go up against 2 mice, an Object 140 and 113, an E4, an IS-4 and an E5. So that's a much heavier lineup with all the risk of that, because you kind of miss the DPM, and even though you have the armor, we know that players at this level generally leave the heaviest armored tanks for last, because they are slow in getting around, and even though they will soak up the damage, so it's easier to take out all the other guns first. So 21 seconds left before we go into this match to see the second game of this matchup on my favorite map, and then we'll see what is going on. And here we go. Ooh, the devoted camo on the E5. And there goes my Sheridan. And we see Ville now more splitting up, going towards base C and towards base A. Whereas Kraken S is all together. Wunderkind capping the base. They are already spotted going over. And we see Ville Wunderkind pulling back, which is probably a good move. Ville not capping a base yet, but one of the STBs is likely to do just that. And Wunderkind is pulling back, which is a good call because you can see they are pushing, and he felt that expertly. He is going to get a shot in, but does no damage. But people crossing over are getting damaged a little bit. Both teams have a base, but Kraken has a slight point advantage there, about half a tank's worth. And I'm not sure what they're gonna do now. Elysium not pushing in. Wunderkind basically spotting for his clan, but being careful. Base B now being kept. Elysium unspotted and safe. It's a little bit of HP damage there. And we have Aper moving in, and now Wunderkind is going to get focused. How? I'm not sure how you missed that. Zerd not looking too healthy in the elements. But we have Yuri at the back there. The other 113s are pushing in. They don't need to focus on the IS-4s and the mouse on top. The E4 and the IS-4 and the mouse. They can just basically murder people from behind and take them out. And now the rest are moving in. They kind of need to not stay there. Wonderkind not looking too healthy. The rest of Vale is arriving. They are working on the IS-4. Wonderkind is not going to survive this, but at this stage Zerd is taken out. Naxos is now gone. Both teams have lost 2 guns. Elysium moving in, making sure that Deep Ice is pushing in into the line of fire. Gassio is gone, but so is Deep Ice. And they are working on that E4 because he does the big booms. And that is in this case a very good call. There he goes. They have a mouse now, 2 mice left and an 140. And we have Elysium going after the 140 together with Shapey. They are pushing him together. And even though Elysium might not make it, they will definitely have done their damage. It is 3 versus 3, adamantly not looking too healthy. And that bounce though. He will be gone with this shot. And now we have Yuri facing off against the mouse, who is showing his rear. And now only French Baguette is left. And this was like Kraken making a push and Vil responding to it. And those mice, they took forever to get to the area they needed to be. And that is what cost them the game here. Yuri is gone, but there's still 2 guns left. And it will definitely be a Vil's game here. Look at the difference in HP already. 2 very healthy tanks left, Shapey and Weisse, taking it home. And overall, it's good sportive contact between the clans. I like that. But this was... Kraken was pushing, but because they had 2 mice with them that were first chasing after the STBs, it took a very long time for Kraken to get their team, like, together. So someone just said in the chat, what is a girl doing here? Yes, imagine that. Females play this game as well. Big secret, I know, but yeah. No, I seriously wish that we still had Rolling commentating as well, because he is the best of the best, but he quit this week. And he quit because of Wargaming closing the door of communication and AGGMs and basically a whole collection of reasons, but AGGMs first and foremost. So yeah. Also guys, please talk English. That is generally more helpful because people can actually understand what you're saying then. So that is the second matchup of tonight. Let's see if we know yet who we are up against next. APA is through. EG is through. But we don't know the rest yet. Anvil, of course. So let's see. I, in the meantime, understood that Whip faced off. Oh, they got knocked out by APA. Yeah. But they faced off versus K4, who only had 6 players. That's not really doing any good for your tournament gameplay if you're borrowing teammates to other clans and then not have enough yourself. But yeah. As for what country I am from the Netherlands. So let's see what else I want. I want to know how this matchup is going, because like I said, I'm rooting for Legion, but I'm also rooting for wins, because the further that they would get, the more chances that had of making it to the top 8. But they did get further than the first line, so that's at least something. But that means that we are now getting Vale versus Legion, which is going to be epic. And we get that in about 20 minutes. So let's start off with another replay then. See what I can show you. And as we are going off against Legion, I'm actually going to show you a Legion replay. That was given to me today. And here we go. Let's see what happens. .268 was my second tier 10. And I absolutely loved it. I mainly got it because as I was grinding the Jaeger, which was my first run, the guy that I was tuning with a lot, Zenodium, he was driving mainly this line, and that made me want it. Because, well, but to be fair, Zenodium is freaking OP in anything he drives. Always has been. And at the time he was only like a 56%er, and that's still well above average now. He's now well into the 70%. But he's always been very good at this game, always understood the mechanics of it. He can name you any bit of armor on any tank, and it's insane. He also can even simplify it in a language that I generally understand what he's saying, which is also a good thing because I'm generally not good at... Oh, nice shot. I'm not good with the tank numbers, the amount of armor that people have, the amount of pen that people have. I'm basically all about just driving and seeing what I can pen. Now he does miss that shot because he wasn't spotted anymore. But the T62A is not really making a good move. But ooh, should have taken a little bit more time to focus that. The E100 arriving at the back. This is something that I like. People that are map aware, that are understanding that they need to make a move. Oh, he does take a big hit back though. And he will probably need some help because with the TD you have the epic pen. There you go. But he is losing more HP than damage he's doing. So unless he gets some troll bounces, which he could potentially do, and the E100 having a lot more HP than he does. Ooh. Now he's basically... he can be murdered to death by a hug. He has to bounce this. Oh, this is good, because he is still focusing on side scraping. And now our 268 is just like, yeah, nope. If he can get the shot in first, if the E100 makes this move, dares to make this move, and he gets the kill, that would be cool. Dun 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 dun. Good move, good move! And this is the thing with the HP buff of the heavies, it's kind of put the TDs at a disadvantage when you have like a situation like this. But that was so cheeky, I love it. Properly expecting him to look the other way, expect him somewhere else. That is basically the way to play any tank, but especially, I'm not sure what his teammate is doing there. And he has to be careful because he has so little health left. There goes the nice big hit, immediately pulling back. It might give him time enough to reload before the T62A can try and shoot him. He just needs to make sure to hit right away. And oh, he bounces that! Nicely done. Nice to be careful of the Object 140 that is up there. 4.6k damage so far. 140 is coming. I'm not sure yet what he's doing. Not sure the 140 knows yet what he's doing. But he's going back to help his Jaeger friend, who is still full health. In this case, I feel the priority should be the 140. At the same time, the Jaeger can basically just breathe on him and he would die. So he's pulling back. The only teammate that is left is an AFKer. And the 140 is at this stage a very bad opponent to have. Yeah, he's not doing anything. And he has to be careful because the Jaeger is there, but the 140 is the priority, and if he can just see a sliver of him, he could HE him to death. 40 going back. Dropping down. And we don't know where the Jäger is at this stage. There he is. Oh, well done. But now he's left versus a full HP Jäger. And he has to be so careful. This gameplay though, if you're ever wondering how to play a TD, this would be it. And with the Leo doing absolutely nothing and being AFK. I'm not sure what the Jäger is doing here, showing his flank. He is trying to reposition, but he's repositioning in a way that is showing all his weaknesses to R268. Let's see. Dun 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 dun. I'll give you a lesson about Dutch and English and all of that soon. $54 left. The Jäger can take a shot. I think that he's believing that if he just takes the shot. There you go. It will take him some time too. He's not even activating his adrenaline at this stage. 29 seconds left. Dude, it's this game though. $20 seconds. And you cannot see him. If you can only see like... Now he's done it! Ah! Well done! How to win with an AFK on your team. This is basically how you do it. Nice. 1574 base XP. 7 minutes exactly the battle duration. Awesome game. So let's see. How is the rest doing? Legion versus Phil. EG versus Raid. Ooh, that's also a match. Loka versus Imor and Phoenix versus Appa. And that is the teams that we have left at this stage. And pretty much I'm rooting for a lot of these teams. There's a large number of favorites there. Let's see. I can show you another replay and still talk about the Netherlands after that. Let's see. What have I got for you? Let's try this one then. Basically, what is going on is that you have the Netherlands, which is a combination of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. That is literally the full name, but it's sort of been shortened to the Netherlands. There used to be a whole bunch of kingdoms, like 5 or 6 of them. And there was this, basically we were oppressed by the Spanish, had a very big war and everything, and from that eventually rose the Kingdom of the Netherlands. That's like a lot of history in a very short version. But basically, from there, one of the kingdoms was Holland. And Holland now, because it is the Kingdom of the Netherlands, no longer exists. And that has to do with... Oh my god, the poor PTA. He just got deleted. But yeah, Holland as itself doesn't exist anymore. So calling the Netherlands Holland is actually like wrong. But you still have 2 provinces, South Holland and North Holland. So it kind of exists, and you can see where the country that used to be Holland used to be, because it was, I think it was the largest one of the kingdoms that all formed the Netherlands together. Oof, VK and mouse pushing in. Getting in each other's way, that's always like the best thing to do. Then bounces though, he kind of not has to not be there. And he's not there to get the base, he is there to help his team and bounce on their heads. So he's not really in the best of positions at this stage. Does land a nice one there. But he has to be careful with all the... I'm not sure how that panned. He was still moving so much, but kudos. Oh yes, he's in Legion. I believe he's even team captain, or at least he was on Thursday. But yeah, overall, Holland doesn't exist. The Netherlands has two provinces called South Holland and North Holland. Lots of people dying everywhere. That is shooting a rock. And he has to be careful with the dice 4 there and the mouse. And just not be there anymore. And the reason that what we are speaking is called Dutch rather than Netherlandish or something of the kind is actually due to the British that we're lazy. Couldn't tell the difference between the Netherlands and Germany. And because Germany is Deutschland and the people in Germany speak Deutsch, they kind of like raped that and named it Dutch. But that is all because of the British. E100 not looking too good. But he's now pushing him very closely, which is a good call and a bad call at the same time. But he does kill him off. So yeah, that's a bit of a history and geography lesson for you guys. A little bit of a track shot. It is 2 versus 2. And he just has to be careful. He is trying to keep himself out of harm's way. But he kind of also has to keep his teammate alive. But who bounces? Oh my god. And now he's relocating himself. And using the rocks. Because in this case it's better to take a shot from the... Ooh, that bounces. That is very lucky. It's better to take a shot from the IS-4 than from the VK. And he just has to be very, very careful because this ram, yeah, that could have happened. We are 5.8k damage into it, and he has to be very careful here. Nice bounce, and he should have aimed for the lower plate, especially while you can still see it. But he's taking his shots very hastily, and that is in this case breaking him up. Yes, shoot HE at a super heavy. That is like, yeah, always the best way to go. But he has to be careful. He's in a bad position. He doesn't have that much ammo left, so he has to be very careful here. There you go. He also has to be careful not to get into too close quarters with the VK, because then the VK has the advantage. But now he has a nice little rock. He just has to play this very, very carefully. He is not at an advantage here. This guy I wouldn't trust, because he's actually advising you to shoot HE at a VK, so yeah. Thing is, he could pull back behind the second rock, I believe. So now he's just waiting for the VK to make a move. No, don't go for a draw. Exactly. All we need is a bounce or a miss. He is pre-aiming. No, actually not. He is... I think he's using auto-aim. That's something you can see because you see the gun of the VK constantly moving. So he's not aiming at one spot. He's more aiming at the tank. And if he fires, that could be the best thing ever. Because he might either bounce. No, draw is still a loss. And he is like inching closer. We have 30 seconds left. That bounce though. He's immediately activated adrenaline, which is a good call. He just has to make sure that he pens all of them. Oh my god, he's done it. Well done. That was a cheeky corpse shot. Epic game. 1865 base XP. That is insane. Very, very well done. What a game. Lots of misses and well, some misses and a lot of bounces, but still. And we have a room, so let's go there straight off. So now we have Legion versus Phil, and we're going to Oasis Palms. So let's see. Hello everyone that is watching, by the way. I hope you like my Dutch history lesson. Because I always get questions about that. And people thinking that I'm German rather than Dutch and everything. And that's all that we can blame the British for that. So yeah, that is basically the history of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. We've only existed for about 200 years as the Kingdom of the Netherlands. But yeah. Let's see, not much else to say at this point. We've kind of covered everything from all the drama and all of that to what we're seeing. We know the games that are left, and basically I like both these teams, but I'm definitely going to be rooting for Ville, because if they get knocked out at this stage, I do too as streamer. So I prefer to have more matches, because if they get through this match, then we have a full stream, because the next match is either to go to the finals or to go to the battle for third place. So both of them would be fine. But we still have to pass Legion first, and that is no mean feat, because Legion has been absolutely epic. I've been following them on Thursdays mostly, but they're great fun and doing very fun things. And of course, you've just seen what Object 3 is capable of in the 268. So that is also saying something. So we'll see what is going to go on in a few minutes' time. Just over 2 minutes left to go. Veil is already with 2 E5s, a Sherry, an STB, 2 113s and a T22 medium. So a relative mobile lineup, especially with the speed boost that they have. That the E5s have, that is. And it will be interesting to see how these two titans clash. Veil, of course, a relative new clan to make it to the scene, but with some very known players that we've known from clans like RTK, but also from Legion way back when. So Fuggy just said, we Brits are lazy, lol. We called the mountain K2 due to being lazy. Yeah, that's actually very true. And Legion has now readied up with a 268, 2 IS4s, a Sherry, an E5 and 2 140s. So that's also a relative mobile lineup, and that could form a very interesting clash. But we'll see what happens in just over a minute. What they're going to do. And like I said, I'm for both these teams. They are both definitely going to the top 8. But for this stream, I am definitely rooting for Phil. Because, well, basically, if they get knocked out, so do I. And I would love to be attached to a bracket rather than just a team. But with the Ascent Tournaments, that is impossible. So that's a problem for this week and next week still. And after that, with the professionals, that's no longer a problem, because those matches are basically set, and they can make me even switch clans and everything. So we will see what we are going to do. But for now, we just have to be patient for about half a minute before we go into the game, into this third matchup. And I'm not going over the maps with you yet. I generally do that with the whole whatchamacallit, with the professionals and everything. At this stage, I don't yet. Because like I said, I can show you the map at the same time. it is impossible to guess what people are doing because it's a team battle. They can literally go anywhere with any team lineup because it's a team and no individual players, so to speak. So here we go. Zegan having made it into Legion. I haven't seen him around yet. And let's go up and away. See what they're going to do. Speed boosts have been activated. And we see that Vil is focusing primarily on the desert side. Whereas Legion is doing a bit of both. NG doing cheeky spots. And we see the first hits going in. Gassio also losing some HP there. Wunderkind not very happy in that position. This is a very tricky position to be in though. And Legion is immediately responding to it. We have Object 3 behind there in the 268. And he's getting big hits into them. And we have Legion pulling together, going for them. Wiser and Wunderkind getting those hits in. But the Objects and the Sheridan are going to make a move. And basically Vil will have to push him very fast if they want to keep the advantage. Because the 140s and the Sheridan are going to arrive and they're going to get behind them. And Wiser is not looking too good. He's going to be gone very soon. They will need to take out those guns. Ooh, there goes Wunderkind. He is the first one out. And Eggy is not looking too healthy. Shapey takes him out. But Wiser is also gone. Whoops, he's still alive. But HP wise, it is relatively close. But Vil is losing it faster than Legion is. And Legion, with those push, with the 140s, are in a better position. There goes Siegfried. There goes Yori. Zert's still alive, but he's gone now. Tanks are disappearing left and right, but it's 4 versus 3 in Legion's favor. Gassio taking a big hit there, running off. But it will be very tricky for them. Object 3 is taking... Oof. It is 2 versus 3 at this stage. But it's a T22 and an STB, and the STB is not a brawler. And you can see that because they are actually focusing the T22 at this stage. Which makes, of course, a lot of sense. And it is Radicals that takes him out. And now there's only Mo left. And the first game is for Legion, I dare say. With 3 guns against him and the STB not being a brawler. That push in the middle, they survived a lot longer than I thought they would. But Wiser and Wunderkind in that position, in the eye of Object 3 in the 268, taking tons and tons of damage because of that. That was a very, very quick game. 2.5 minutes, but oh my god, that was aggressive. Oof. So in about 1 minute and 40 seconds we get to go into the second match of this matchup. And the pressure is on Vil, well not on me, but the pressure is on Vil to win the next 2 games if they want me to keep streaming. At the same time, they've made it to the top 8, so they're basically making certain that their position stays the same, even if it doesn't get better. And they're relatively secure in the top 8, so that's good. Just over a minute left to go before we go into the game again. And we see that Vil has now read up with 2 E5s, 2 113s, an STB and 2 IS4s. Slightly different lineup, no Sheridan anymore. Whereas Legion is taking extra because they have a 268, 2 IS4s, 2 Sherries and 2 E5s. But the kind of like concentrated push that Vil wanted to do last match did not work out. Not with Object 3 at the back there, because he did. You saw the massive hit that he did. And that is exactly what is... that was the tricky part, and it definitely worked out for Legion. And that is why I called this the Clash of the Titan, because so many good players, and it's just great to see matches like this. But yeah, I'm rooting for Vil at this point. I want to keep streaming. And let's see, countdown clock has begun. We are moving into the game very, very soon. And here we go. Dun 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 dun. But yeah, even though I'm listed on Legion's team side, I am following Vil in these games, so yeah. Oh my god, the chat is being very funny. So we have Legion now focusing primarily on the base A side and Vil doing exactly the same. This could prove to be very, very interesting. We have Whoopsie in the Sheridan going down the middle. We have Angie in the Sheridan holding the line in the middle. Discord is apparently having issues. Elysium pushing in. Wunderkind wisely waiting. Whereas base A is being kept with the rock being hugged. And the rest of Vil is there. But most of Legion is there as well, so they have to be careful. And we have Whoopsie arriving behind them, still not having been spotted. He's going to get a massive hit into someone. Vil is all the way there. Angie has been spotted. The 268 already losing quite a bit of HP. Base B is being capped. Not sure if they intend to cap it. But now we have both Whoopsie and Angie in the Sheridans. And this is the thing, they can do massive hits with one. Wunderkind not looking too healthy. HP wise, it is relatively close, but Wunderkind is the first gun to go, and that can be very costly. Radicals also have been taken out. And the STB is going after the Sheridans, but this is very tricky gameplay, guys. Again, it is... We are entering a fuckfest stage, and it could go every which way. They need to support each other, they need to keep their guns alive. Zerd not looking healthy at all. And this is like, I'm missing the focus fire. The STB, there you go, one mode taken out by Whoops. Gassio staying alive, but HP wise it's not looking all too good. Shapey moving in, going to take a hit. But he takes out Ziegenfreude. And now we have Whoopsie moving in, taking doing massive damage to Shapey. There you go, Whoopsie has been taken out. It is 3 versus 4, but again, it could go every which way, and they need to work together. Shapey needs to stay alive at all costs. Elysium losing HP. Missile derp there, which is to Vil's luck really, because he is in a very tricky position here. And we have Eggy still alive, but barely. Object 3 losing HP, but right now they need to keep the guns. And Shapey has to stay alive, and they have to take out Eggy. And Object 3 and Angie, because those missiles could be very dangerous, and Elysium can't really move any which way. And he is doing some damage, but he is also bouncing now. Elysium is also one shot. They're all one shot at this stage. And there goes Elysium. And Shapey just fired, but he will need the rock to stay alive. Wiser is there, they need to take them out, they need to take the guns out, but it will be very tricky to do so. Wiser not managing that shot is very dangerous. It is Angie that takes him out, and now only Shapey is left with barely any HP, and Eggy murders him. And that is the end of this matchup, and well, and the end of this stream. But great gameplay by Legion. Love the way that they basically soaked up that push, and very uncoordinated push from Vil. They stuck together, but they weren't shooting the same target. They weren't pushing together. There were too many different parts of Vil doing too many different things. Oh my god. What a game that was. But yeah, that does mean that I have been knocked out as well, and that's just really sad. Because, but to be fair, there is more streams going on. Ninja is still going as he's following Appa, and Rip is still going on. He's going to be streaming Raid versus Legions. That's going to be interesting to see. So that is it for tonight, actually, for me. Because I'm not going to be waiting about an hour to see the final standings. It is what it is. Can't do anything about that. Veil has been knocked out. Legion is through. Overall, though, epic games. It was lovely to see that. And like I said, for the top 8, they're both pretty secure, so they don't need to worry about that. And we will see what will happen. But not tonight. Tonight I'm calling it a night. I will be back in just under 6 hours with the NA stream. I will be following Pincer Insurgents there. And for now, all I can do is bid you all a very good night and thank everyone for watching. Thank you for the lovely games that we saw, because this was beautiful. And yeah, like I said, this won't be an issue again in the professionals, because then everything is happening through set brackets, so they can attach me to specific matchups rather than one team. But for now, this is just really sad, because I would have loved to show you more. But know that Ninja stream is in Polish, but you can mute it and still see the gameplay. He will be streaming APA versus either Loka or Inmore. And we have Rip stream that should be going somewhere. And he is streaming, he's going to be streaming Legion versus Raid. And he streams in German, but if you don't understand German, you can still watch the gameplay, just like with the Polish stream. So everyone, very good night. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for the lovely gameplay, and I'll see you guys later on tonight with the NA stream, or otherwise next Thursday for the next EU stream. Bye bye!